What's going on, guys? It's KW here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Now, today is the first day of the month. We did, in fact, close a higher candle, although it was red, than the previous low. However, as I am making this video right now, it appears that Bitcoin could be looking to make a breakout. It is ready for a big move. You can see there is multiple resistances, and we are literally pushing on it right now. So probably within the next 24 to 48 hours, maybe even sooner than that, we could be seeing a massive move for Bitcoin. So I'm going to go into exactly what to expect and what levels to pay attention to. Also, we have a ton of news that came out today, some of it bullish, some of it bearish, so stick around. The first good news is that Fidelity has actually come out with a recent report saying that Bitcoin is in fact a superior form of money, and they even urge investors to consider taking a position in Bitcoin first before heading into some of these other cryptos. On top of that, we finally have confirmation from India saying that they are in fact looking to lift the ban, and they're looking to introduce a central bank digital currency, as well as looking to tax that. So this is a big turnaround for India, although we know that they like to ban it and unban it and ban it, but this time it does look like it could be quite serious. However, there is something that hits a little bit close to home for me, and that's the fact that we do have a New York gubernatorial candidate who's recently come out and said that we should ban Bitcoin mining because of its environmental impact. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm actually going to explain to you why maybe he should probably do a little bit more research, because Bitcoin has actually been going a lot greener recently. And finally, I just want to say something super quick. I think yesterday there was something going on with YouTube. I had a lot of people tell me that they couldn't find my video, and yesterday's video was honestly one of the best videos we've put out in a long time. I had so many nice comments. If you didn't check out yesterday's video, we talk about the shocking Bitcoin secret that they don't want you to know. And if you didn't see it, I highly recommend after this video, you go back and watch that video. It was really incredible. We broke down some crazy insights into what is really happening in the background for Bitcoin right now. So definitely turn on those bell notifications. And without further ado, guys, let's dive in and let's have a look at what is happening right now. So first and foremost, you can see that Bitcoin is looking to break out of this formation. This is on the 4-hour chart. Now, you can have a look and you can say to yourself that this actually kind of looks a bit like an ascending triangle, right? Maybe with a little bit of a bear trap down here. Now, obviously, this is coming off of a lower move. So as we have seen, even though we have had these types of formations, in here, we have continued to break to the downside. So we have had a lot of momentum playing to the downside for Bitcoin, but you could argue that we are looking to break out. Or in fact, depending on how you really look at this, if you do take this as the resistance right here, then you could argue that we have already broken out of it and we are testing it right now with the resistance flipping support. Now, this is on the lower time frame, but the point I'm trying to make, guys, is you can see that every single time we have hit the top of this downtrend, Bitcoin has in fact fallen down to the downside. Now, if we do fall down, you are looking at Bitcoin retesting around $33,000. However, if we do have that breakout and we are able to get up to that $42,000 level, which we know is like the super critical important level, because if we go way back over here, you can see that that level was acting as the major resistance when we had the insane run up when Bitcoin broke through $20,000 and then went to 42. And we did see a lot of confluence right here, right here, right here. Also, when we fell down again, right here, we even had a bounce off of it right here during this formation. So very, very critical. And if we could break through that, you could actually see Bitcoin heading back up towards the $56,000 to even $57,000 range. And you could see the significance of this blue zone territory that we've had marked out here for months. And right here, you could see again, we are hitting the bottom of this area. So if we get back into this blue zone, guys, it could actually be very, very good for Bitcoin short term. Now, I'm not trying to get anyone excited, but I am saying if we do have a breakout and we get above 39,100 and we come back down and retest that as support, that could actually be an amazing opportunity for a short-term trade. Now, I'm not recommending anybody, try to trade these markets. It is crazy times, but if you are interested in learning how to do this, make sure that you check out the tutorials that I have. Popping up above is one of them. them, and there's over $4,000 in bonuses. Actually, I think, no, there's over $8,000 in bonuses between the two platforms. Plus, there's a 50% discount if you guys are using Prime XBT. You can also trade stocks and gold, and they have $10 a month spot trading, which is probably the best deal you're going to find around here. Unless, if you're using Uniswap, you're probably used to paying $100 to $200 per transaction. But getting back to the Bitcoin chart and having a look at something very, very, very important that we need to pay attention to are these simple moving averages. Now, these are my 3 favorite moving averages to me. They are the most significant. I do use the 21 exponential sometimes, but that's for shorter moves. But considering this has been a very long, prolonged 2-month downtrend, you can see the significance right here of the major support of this 200 weekly moving average. Right now, obviously, we're nowhere near that. That is sitting at around $20,000. But what you will notice is that we didn't even touch the 100. We actually came close to it, but we did not touch it. So that was actually showing that the bulls are defending the territory. And right here, since we fell below it, Bitcoin is around 31% below this 50 weekly moving average. Now, just to point this out, you can see for the most part, anytime we tend to fall below it, we do usually come up and at least attempt to retest it. And that is currently sitting at around $47,800. So if we do have this move to the upside, I'm not saying we are going to have it. Pay attention, keep your eyes on the chart, make sure we retest the resistance as support. But I do think that breaking through that could easily bring Bitcoin back up to around that $47,000 level. So it could be a very, very good opportunity to be accumulating Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but here's some of the data in case you're considering whether or not you should buy right now. So according to Santiment, there was 40,785 Bitcoin that were actually moved off of exchanges. So this is really insane. In fact, Plan C says, is this the calm before the storm? You can see that we've had a massive amount of coins leaving exchanges, which is showing that traders are putting them into cold storage, right? They're keeping it off the exchanges. They're not looking to sell it, right? Where are they going to sell it if it's in their cold storage? They're not going to have a way to sell it, right? So this could potentially be a very massive move. He says supply side remains bullish and demand is inevitable. And if you just want to know sort of like where we are in relationship to Bitcoin historically being oversold, Will Clemente said that out of all of Bitcoin's history, right now, Bitcoin is the 4th oversold in its history, according to Dormancy Flow. And the interesting thing about this is generally when you see Bitcoin get down into these levels, it's usually during very, very bad times, like the tail end of bear markets or after major capitulation. But right now, we're still actually putting in a nice structure. We still had last month's candle, although it was red, it still closed higher than the previous swing low on the monthly. This is very bullish for Bitcoin, and we are still in a consolidating range. So the fact that we're seeing the dormancy flow showing that we are this oversold could suggest that it is the time to buy. And don't just listen to what I'm saying. Don't just buy because I'm saying it. I don't want price to go down $2,000 tomorrow and then I get yelled at. But I am saying that I have been personally accumulating in this range, and apparently so have the whales. I told you in yesterday's video, which once again, I can't stress, I highly suggest you go and watch yesterday's video. It was an incredible video. Like I said, a lot of people were saying that they weren't getting the notifications. Even my dad couldn't find the video, and a few other people couldn't find the video. I don't know if something was going on with YouTube, but make sure you turn on the bell notifications. But anyway, just because it was a great video. But anyway, talking about these whale wallet accumulations, we were seeing in yesterday's video that there were whales accumulating massive quantities of Bitcoin. In fact, the highest volumes that we were seeing for Bitcoin purchases were purchases of $1 million worth of Bitcoin or higher. And you can actually see right here where the whales were accumulating. And there was a massive, massive whale accumulation between the levels of $36,000 and $38,000. So we were saying, maybe they know something that we don't, right? Well, something positive that did in fact come out was that after years of debate, a temporary ban by the central bank, a Supreme Court ruling, and rumors of a ban by the parliament, India has finally moved to officially classify cryptos as digital assets. The new finance bill 2022 includes a new scheme for the taxation of crypto at a rate of about 30%, regardless of whether it's capital gains or if it's income. And honestly, you guys should watch this right here, because not only did crypto just become legal tender, but they also talked about a central bank digital currency. This is actually a clip from the meeting.
Introduction of a central bank digital currency will give a big boost to digital economy. Digital currency will also lead to a more efficient and cheaper currency management system. It is therefore proposed to introduce digital rupee using blockchain and other technologies to be issued by the Reserve Bank of India starting 2022 and 23.
So how much of an effect on the market will that have? Well, I'm not really too sure what impact, the Indian news really will or won't have, but I will say that it is finally nice to have some closure. So this is probably some of the biggest news right now. So we have Fidelity, the multinational brokerage giant, has released a paper on Bitcoin, and they called it Bitcoin First, okay? So they essentially said that Bitcoin should be treated separately from the rest of digital assets. The paper argued that Bitcoin is fundamentally different from the hundreds of other digital assets trading in the market, and no other digital asset is likely to overtake the top cryptocurrency as a monetary good. So Fidelity's paper called Bitcoin a superior form of money rather than just tech. It is the most secure decentralized form of an asset, and any improvement will necessarily face trade-offs. Bitcoin clearly possesses a lot of good qualities of money, combining the scarcity and durability of gold with the ease of use, storage, and transportability of fiat. They say, we won't be so bold as to predict there will only ever be one money, but we do believe that one monetary good will come to dominate the digital asset ecosystem due to the very powerful effects of the network. And in their conclusion, they said Bitcoin's first technological breakthrough was not as a superior payment technology, but as a superior form of money. As a monetary good, Bitcoin is unique. Therefore, not only do we believe investors should consider Bitcoin first in order to understand digital assets, but that Bitcoin should be considered first and separate from all other digital assets that have come after it. But I know what you're saying. What about gold? Well, I'll tell you what, there are in fact a lot of gold bugs that have recently been moving into Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin slowly chipping away at gold's market cap as the decades go by. And also, if you actually have a look over here with this video that, Mark Moss came out with, which by the way, check Mark Moss out, Market Disruptors, awesome channel. He's been on this channel before. We did an interview. It was a while ago, but he was on the channel. And, he goes in and explains exactly why we need to progress. We need to move forward. You don't want to be left behind. And this is actually what he had to kind of say about Bitcoin in relationship to gold.
You say Bitcoin is the stronger horse in the game here compared to gold. Why?
Again, right, a candle was light for 5,000 years, but electricity was a better version of that candle because it worked different. And so if you look at the properties of money, so gold emerged as the best form of money. Money has to have, many principles: portable, divisible, durable, saleable, etc. But gold isn't portable. And so as the world started to develop, trying to get gold from the United States to Spain, for example, was very difficult. And so you'd have to sail it across the sea, ships would sink, pirates would take it, etc. And so then we started using ledgers, and then gold went into banks, it became centralized. And then we had a layer 2, which was paper gold certificates, which made it very easy to trade gold, but the gold was centralized in the banks. That led to the United States Act 6102 seizing all the gold and stealing it because it was already in the banks. And so gold doesn't work today in today's world in a sense where you're somewhere else in the world than I am. And I could easily send you Bitcoin right now, but I can't send you gold. The only way I could send you gold again would be if it was in somebody else's safe. And then we used a ledger system, but now we're required to trust that third party. And of course, that's the problem. We don't want to trust. Bitcoin is trustless. And so I can literally send you Bitcoin peer-to-peer as opposed to gold. We have to trust that it's in there. And again, history shows that it hasn't worked out very well.
But nevertheless, even though the writing is on the wall and it's apparently totally obvious right now, we still have the candidate for New York governor. This is Jermaine Williams of New York. So this is obviously hitting very close to home. And there's this 2-minute video clip. I'm not going to play it right now, but to summarize, he essentially says Bitcoin mines that use a proof of work process have the potential to devastate the environment and local economy. So today I joined advocates and community members to call on Governor Kathy Hochul to declare a moratorium on this type of mining. So, in the video, he talks about how, basically it's not good for the environment and it's not sustainable and we can't do this. Well, First of all, guys, we just had the report that came out that was saying that it was around 50% of the global Bitcoin is totally renewable. I've even seen other reports saying that it's closer to 70%. But just recently, what came out, and this is from Andy Edstrom. Now, he is a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. He is a financial advisor. And he says that his clients have owned Bitcoin since 2019. And in the last couple of years, several of them have expressed concerns about Bitcoin's ESG credentials. He says, how ironic. So this is what he wrote. My analysis indicates that Bitcoin is not only more ESG friendly than you've heard, but that it is probably the most ESG positive investment in my clients' portfolios. How is that? Well, he breaks it down and he makes a really great argument. So next time somebody's saying to you, Bitcoin is not environmentally friendly, save this part of the video and show them, because listen what he says. So he says, at minimum, Bitcoin aims to replace the market for gold, which we just covered in this video. If it succeeds, the world will be far better off environmentally. That's because today the gold mining industry produces more than triple the carbon emissions that Bitcoin does, while also pouring toxic chemicals into the ground. We're not even going to go into some of the treatment of the workers and the dangerous hazards, right? That's just a totally another topic. He says because Bitcoin mining facilities can be located anywhere in the world that has an electricity source and low bandwidth internet access, Bitcoin unlocks stranded clean energy resources far from population centers. That's another thing you need to consider. When you're talking about mining gold, you have to go to the specific location where the gold actually is. Bitcoin can be mined absolutely anywhere. It can take advantage of all different types of clean energy. You can have hydro, geothermal, solar, wind, which funds the research and development budgets of the companies that make those clean energy units. Another major benefit from Bitcoin brings the power grid is that the power grid is baseloaded to demand that it can be easily toggled off when overall electrical demand exceeds supply. And he also just talks about sort of the social idea. And this isn't just relating to gold. This is also relating to the traditional fiat system as well. But he starts off by saying the gold mining industry does not just consume lots of energy and emit chemicals. It is also notorious for providing corrupt governments with fixed assets that can easily be exploited. Average citizens take dirty jobs while government-affiliated elites extract the surplus. It seems no coincidence that many of the most corrupt and the corrupted governments sit atop rich countries. The negative social impacts of the existing fiat monetary system include the fact that it's inflationary. I don't think we really need to touch on that. It's incalculable, right? We don't even really know, how much gold is there really, right? What does the guy do at Fort Knox? Kind of sticks his head in and goes, yeah, all right, looks like it's all there. Right? Like, what kind of an accounting system is that? It also talks about taxation without representation. This is an interesting point. Unlike other taxes, the rate of inflation tax is set without the involvement of Congress, which effectively makes it taxation without representation, right? So that's like the hidden tax. That's the secret tax. So we know we're getting taxed on capital gains. We know we're getting taxed on income. But what about inflation? If today, item X at the grocery store costs $5 and in 5 years from now it costs $7.50. Well, isn't that kind of like a form of tax? Aren't I kind of losing money in the process, right? And also it's regressive. The tax is regressive because the poor hold a higher percentage of their net worth in dollars than the rich do. And decades of easy monetary policy prop up the values of assets owned by the rich, such as stocks and real estate. Also, let's talk about our good old buddies, the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee, the FOMC, right? They just had their big meeting. Everyone was freaking out. Well, check this out. Among the committee's 11 members listed on Wikipedia, only 3 were female. Moreover, only 1 member on the board is not white. And on top of that, no member on the board is below the age of 50. He goes on to say Bitcoin knows no gender, race, or age. That's true. The monetary policy is 100% transparent and algorithmic. Literally anyone can use the network without censorship. Bitcoin doesn't care if you're, male, female, whatever your race is, if you're an alien, if you're a robot. Bitcoin doesn't care. Bitcoin just does what it does. It balances itself on the ledger. Every 10 minutes we have new blocks. We have a halving every 4 years roughly. The miners keep on mining. The nodes keep on verifying, and that's the network. It's it. It's actually quite simple. It's quite beautiful, in fact, right? So in his conclusion, he says whether it only displaces gold or whether it reaches its potential and displaces ever-inflating and misery-inducing fiat currencies, Bitcoin will be a huge improvement over what came before, and it's as ESG as it can be. While no monetary system is perfect, Bitcoin appears to be a major ESG improvement on the existing system. So, getting back to, this whole spiel about we need to ban proof of work mining, I don't agree with that. I think what we need to do is figure out clean ways to mine Bitcoin, because you have to understand that proof of work is literally what makes the Bitcoin network so special. I don't want to rag on proof of stake, right? Sure, there's some great proof of stake blockchains out there, but at the end of the day, proof of stake is basically, in a nutshell, securing the network by staking your tokens. And what ends up happening, or your coins, and what ends up happening is you get these big whales that end up having massive staked wallets, and then they get all the rights as far as the governance of the protocols are concerned, and they get to make all the decisions about what we should and shouldn't do with this particular blockchain. And if you kind of think about it, that kind of sounds a lot like the system that we already have, where a select few get to decide the fate of many, whereas in a proof of work consensus mechanism, it is truly distributed and it is a fair system. So I understand where they're coming from, guys, but I think to just say, we need to ban proof of work, no, I don't agree with that. And obviously, I realize that I went on very long about this. I know this was a very long rant on this part of the video, but being a native to New York, this does literally hit close to home for me, and I have to say I completely disagree with this. And I'm actually a little bit shocked, considering we just saw Eric Adams saying he wants to take his paychecks in Bitcoin, and then we have this guy over here coming out saying we should look to ban proof of work mining. A little bit weird, a little bit crazy, but I just wanted to bring that up to you. But, essentially, that's basically where I wanted to end today, guys, on that bit of that rant. But massive news from Fidelity, massive news from India. Finally, good to hear. And as I said, having a look at this Bitcoin chart, guys, it does look like we could potentially be having a big move. And like I said, if we do break out of this, then I do think we're going to have a substantially explosive move to the upside. How explosive? We could get as high as around $45,000 to $47,000 if we do have this move to the upside. Obviously, if we don't have the move to the upside, then we're going to just continue down in this channel, probably get that support again around the $33,000 level. But just be careful. And like I said, if you guys are looking to trade that, make sure that you guys check out the videos that are about to pop up here in just a few seconds. And definitely, like I said, check out yesterday's video. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel, turn on the bell notification, and actually let me know in tomorrow's video, if you did turn on the bell notification, let me know if you got the notification. Because if not, then YouTube is having issues. I was having some issues on my back end the other day, so maybe it's just YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming back to the channel. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.